Hello YouTube and welcome back to another episode of Keyforge Gameplay with your host, me, KevBot, here on the Crucible Online. We'll get right into it today. We have the Pampered Virtuoso Baron of Caring Hall, the last deck currently on here on the Crucible Online. It is Shadows, Dis, and Logos. Pretty good creature count, pretty balanced deck here. We'll get through the deck analysis real quick. We have two of Arise, which seems like it might be a little bit too much, but probably enough creatures to support it. So I'm seeing pretty good. Probably will have a pretty good result with that card there, especially with Gateway to Dis. Really good combination there. We also have Control of the Weak, another really great discard. Allows you to choose the opponent's next house on their turn. In addition to those good cards, we also have Lash, another good standout discard. But we've already gone over those cards before, so let's go back into Logos here. Library Access, obviously a winner, the best Logos card by far. We also have, along pair with it, Wild Wormhole, which actually allows you to get double triggers off of Library Access, and then Art Lab Work, which also works pretty well with it as well, because you can set it up for later and stuff like that. Over in Shadows, we have Bait and Switch. Obviously, any Shadow Spool, you really want to see this card in there. We also have a new card. We've maybe played with this one, but it's called the Sting. It's actually an artifact. It's a vehicle. I don't know how that matters, but it says skip your forge a key step, so you can't forge any keys, but you get all amber spent by your opponents when they forge their keys. So that's really, really good. But you can also use the action at any time you have Shadows chosen to sacrifice that, so you can start forging keys yourself. Pretty cool card to play around. And we also have two Naughties. This is one of my favorite Shadows cards, a common. We have two of them, so that's pretty good. That does it with the deck overview. Pretty straightforward here. Three of my favorite classes. We'll get right into gameplay. See you guys there. Alright guys, here we are in game. As always, when we have the choice, we're going to choose to go first. Let's see what we have here. Looks like lots of Logos. Library Access, Mother, I mean, this looks like a pretty great Library Access, like turn 2. And then turn 1 we can do what? Maybe Nexus out there? That sounds pretty good, so we're not going to mulligan. So we'll use Nexus right now. Oh, wait for the opponent to mulligan. Yep, so we're going to go Shadows this first turn, since we can only play one card on our first turn if you're going first. Play that guy out there and pass the turn. And then we have a really good Library Access turn setup. Hopefully we can get to play this card twice this game. That would be great. Yeah, normally you would probably want to lead with Mother on a hand that you have it in. Such a good card overall. But because we can get the trigger off Library Access, we're going to keep it in hand for now. We also get two triggers off Wild Wormhole, like I said in the deck overview. Because there's two play triggers on this, and this says each time you play another card, you get to draw. So looks like he's going Sanctum. Oh, by the way, our opponent's Sanctum, Logos, and Mars. Maybe not the best combination. Mars and Sanctum tend to play pretty well together, though. So yeah, we're just going to do the Library Access turn. Let's see where it gets us. We'll start out drawing a bunch of cards with Wild Wormhole. This should be two triggers. What we got to play our Annihilation Ritual, which is going to purge each creature that would be discarded. Experimental Theory, it's a Logos card. Let's do stuff in this order, because I don't know what creatures are going to be on the board, so I'm going to wait on Experimental Theory. Go ahead and play our Exploiter Artifact. Great, we got another Logos creature. This might be our last play. One more. So the question is, what do we want to use it on? I almost want to use it on our Nexus here, because we're probably going to go Dis next turn. Or no, we're probably going to go Shadows next turn. It's hard to say. I want to use it on one of my own creatures this time, so I can use over multiple turns. He's going to be incentivized to kill my Mother here, but he doesn't really have a good way to do it. So I'm actually going to do it on the mother. We'll see how this works out. Yep, and we'll end our turn there. Nice, pretty good lever axis turn there. We do have the rise into, we have the gateway into a rise. We're pretty head on board though, so I'm not sure if we want to do that. Sort of down to play Shadows next turn so I can go Shadow Self and protect my mother. Because if you can keep this guy alive, or I guess girl, it's a girl robot, it gets you an extra card every single turn just by being on the field. So that would be sweet. I also had 3 Amber generated that turn, so that's pretty nice. What's he going to do with his Bulwark? Going to fight my Nexus? Sure. It's a good trade for him. But next time I go Logos, I can just kill the card for free because I'm going to do 1 damage to him. Today we are drinking, I don't know if you guys can see this, some crappy box wine. It's called Bento Box, something like that. But it's a Cabernet Sauvignon. Just finished my workday earlier, about 5 o'clock this afternoon, so that's a little treat for myself. Still waiting on our opponent here. Okay, here he goes. So he's discarding his Hollow Blaster. Oh, he forgot my Nexus has elusive. Okay. So how can we punish this guy? Ember Imp seems great. Makes him go Sanctum again. Doesn't really do much for us though. I mean, Arise and Gateway to Dis seem pretty empty here. Shadows and protect my guy, my mother. So we'll play this out. We'll use this just to generate the Amber. And then we can go ahead and remove the stun, because remember, Experimental Theory says I can use this every turn. And we'll slowly get ahead like this. Oh, EMP Blast. Destroys all my artifacts. Unfortunate. But now the only thing you can kill is my Research Schismo, which is going to archive the top card of my deck, which is pretty positive for me. This next turn is either going to be Dis or Logos. Dis, in playing our Ember Imp protected by Shadow Self, is pretty good for us as well. Ember Imp says he can only play 2 cards or less per turn, basically. Okay, Martian makes bad allies. Oh, he's discarding it? Oh gosh. His hand must be so bad if he's doing this stuff. So, this is one of the downsides of Mars. If you go check out my house review video, that's why I put him towards the lows. This card is so narrow. Doesn't really do much for him in that situation. Or I can phase shift into Ember Imp, and then I get to use both my creatures to get Ember. I'm going to do that, actually. I'm going to go Logos here. Oh, what? Why did this guy have another stun counter? I don't get that. No, I didn't want to attack. Oh my gosh, come on, game. Cancel prompt. Okay, there we go. That's fine. I screwed up there, but we'll phase shift into Ember Imp to protect it on the right side of my Shadow Self, and then another Logos creature. Okay, so now we can only play 2 cards per turn. Oh, the EMP Blast. That's EMP Blast. It stuns all robots and Mars creatures, I think. I can't see. I'm pretty sure that's what it does. It destroys all artifacts and then stuns all robot and Mars creatures, to my knowledge. Yeah, this game, unless he has a board wipe, which not a lot of good board wipes in these colors, or these houses, I should say. Mars has a deal 3 to all. Logos has the bouncing death quirk. Sanctum doesn't have anything. So we're looking pretty far ahead. He can only play 2 cards per turn still. Really want to get up to 6 this turn if we can. We also have our Guardian Demon we can play eventually to redirect some damage from our Shadow Self. Yeah, we definitely want to get up to 6 this turn, force him to deal with that. So I'm going to go Logos here. Reap, so make sure I don't misclick this time. And I'm going to kill this creature actually. Because it's going to redirect the damage, and if he can't, it sort of controls his board a little bit since he can still only play 2 cards per turn. And this way it splits up the damage, so he still has to do 2 hits on the Shadow Self in order to kill it. He has to attack it with both creatures. Otherwise, he could have just attacked it with these 2 and then got some damage in on one of my other creatures favorably. But yep, still going. Each player with 6 or more is reduced to 5. Okay, that's fine. Next turn, I might go Dis and sort of get rid of my hand. I've got 2 Arises, which I really don't need. And I can still get up to 7 since I have Experimental Theory and a card that will get me an Amber. So is he going to double attack? Okay, sure. So yeah, I'm going to go Dis here. Sort of cycle through my hand, get up to 7. Actually, I could fight and then play this guy to kill it. That seems good as well. Yeah, I'm going to do that. So whenever you play this card, you heal 2 damage from a creature and then deal 2 to another one. So allows me to redirect damage in a pretty positive manner for myself. I'll get rid of 1 Arise. Go ahead and get rid of Gateway to Dis. Because I'm so far ahead on board. How many cards do I have in my graveyard that I want to get back? None right now, but Arise is still so powerful. I want to have at least access to one of them, I think. And okay, that'll put us up to 6 again. Force him to deal with that. Looking like a really good Shadows turn next turn. Especially because he's going to be around 6. We're going to be able to steal at least 1. Possibly more than 1 next turn. So I'm still surprised he has more Logos plays. So he's forced to choose between killing Mother and the Imp, and chooses to kill the Imp, sure. We're going to just go Shadows and Reap up here. This Archon will steal us 1 back up to 6. That's great. And probably just going to Reap here. I'll force him to deal with my board. And then probably just going to discard this Poison Wave. Doesn't seem amazing. Go ahead and Reap with my Shadows creature on board. So yeah, I'm just going to continue to force him to deal with my board, which is continuing to get bigger and bigger. So now he doesn't have a restriction on his house. But we've had Mother out. Oh, I keep on forgetting to use this card, right? Because it has Experimental Theory. I should be way more ahead, I'm sure, than I am right now. That's my bad, guys. Thing is, I'm playing with new decks like basically every single time I play, so it's hard for me to play perfectly. But he went ahead and played his Library of Babel. It's an artifact. He can use it to draw a card. We have our artifact that'll deal 1. So we tap that down with remote access. Probably gonna just kill the Urchin. He has the 1 damage, right? Yep, that's what he did. Time Traveler, good card. Actually happy to see that. It's going to put him up to 6, and we can plan on using Bait and Switch next turn, in addition to Naughty. That's looking like a really strong turn for Shadows again. Time Traveler is, you'll see it in a second once he plays it. Gets him 1, it allows him to draw 2 cards, so he should have played this at the start of his turn probably, and then he can shuffle it back into his deck. So there's consideration for killing it, but I'll probably just ignore it. If he wants to put it back into his deck of 20 cards, he's hardly gotten through. Look, so this is what I'm talking about. You need to be cycling through your deck. He has 19 and I'm on 6. I'm almost through my deck already. And this is going to do 3, then 2, then 1. So he killed my Naughty and then did 2 here and 1 here. So it's good to split away my weak cards like I did. Actually really happy to see that he's generating Amber because it's going to make our Bait and Switch better for us. Okay, so he's stunning this guy. That's pretty smart because I can get a lot of value here, but I wasn't planning on playing him next turn anyway. So yeah, we're looking really good here. We're going to get back up to 6 next turn, as well as cutting him down to 4, actually down to 3 with our Shadows plan. So looking pretty sweet here. So we went ahead and got 1 key there. Go Shadows again because Bait and Switch is looking pretty juicy. We'll lead off with that. Gets him down to 5 and us up to 5. Do we want to trade? Not really. Play another Naughty, and then could kill his Time Traveler or his Protectrix. Probably want to kill his Protectrix, honestly. Or we get to use this. Yeah. No, we should have done this before. That's fine. Reap again. And don't forget, we can use this guy, right? So we could kill the Time Traveler, put this guy down to 1. Or we could just go up to 8. I like going up to 8. Oh, yep, so that'll do it. We'll see what he's got. Mars. Orbital Bombardment. Finally, he's got a decent card. Okay, so opponent hasn't used the Orbital Bombardment card. It's a little bit wonky. You have to select all the cards and stuff like that, but he's got it figured out now. So he's killing our Silvertooth, our Naughty. So I'm trying to think of what I want to do next turn. It's either Logos or Dis, pretty obviously, right? So we can get 1, 2, 3, 4. We can go up to 6 doing Logos, so there's a strong argument for that. I don't think there's any way he can do stuff to prevent us from forging. Or if we go dis, we can get 1, 2, deal 2 there. Now we just want to go up to 6, right? Put the pressure on him. Yep, that's what we're going to do. So Logos. I'm going to archive Arise. Still haven't found a good spot for that card. Then Reap 3 times. Go ahead and play our other Logos creature. And another one. And end our turn. So let's force him to do something. So this card's the experimental theory. You guys saw this game that I played it really early. I've used this. I've probably missed a couple turns of it, but I've used it so many times. So it's good to get tempo if you play it on your opponent's creature, but if you can play it on your creature and leave it on the field for an extended period of time, then it's really, really good. This is the best use I've ever gotten out of it. So Logos, see if he's got something to do with our board state. Emp Blast. Okay, that stuns this guy. And our other robot as well. Pretty good for him. So it looks like he doesn't have anything. He was probably just using Wild Wormhole to find something. Another Time Traveler, or he's going to use its action. I mean, that's not doing anything for you. Okay, sure. So this is a cool card. It gets back his Time Traveler. He's going to use it again to draw 2 cards. So he's digging for a way. Definitely cool interaction there. Definitely cool. This 2-card combo with the help from Future Self plus Time Travelers. One of the cooler combos I've seen. These cards are specifically designed together. And if you guys have done any research on like the system that they use to create the decks, it's not totally random. If there's cards like this that require you to have a Time Traveler in your deck, obviously it wouldn't be fun if you had this card but didn't have a Time Traveler in your deck, so they've got algorithms to put these 2 cards together whenever you get one of them. So that stuff's pretty cool. Oh, we captured one for me. Good for him, I guess. Still not doing a whole lot for him. What can we do next turn? Our discard pile is pretty heavy here. This is a great time to use Arise. We could get back all of our Shadows creatures, which would be pretty good. I'll probably do that. Yeah, as well as if we go dis, we can just get 1 from here. So yeah, we're doing dis. Yes, please. We'll archive, do this. And we're just going to play a bunch of stuff. Playing this guy can read our artifact, another artifact. This is going to prevent him from forging a key as well, which is pretty sweet. And yeah, we're going to do Shadows, right? Because there's a bunch of steel mechanics that I can take use of. So we're going to Arise into Shadows. And we're going to control the weak. What do we want him to play? I guess forcing him to do Mars is pretty weak. He might have a lot of cards from hand, but he can't use this right now because it's stunned, and he could use his other creatures. That's what he wanted to do, though. I guess I could have seen that coming, but I didn't want to use his creatures on board because he can deal with Charette possibly, and I don't want him forging a key if I can avoid it. And again, I missed out on my mother getting rid of the stun. That's my bad. Playing quite loose. Ooh, phosphorus stars. Stuns every single creature. This is hilarious. EMP, another EMP blast to get rid of my artifacts. Come on, man. Whatever. Okay, we win though. Alright, got the win. So that was took a little bit longer than I expected, but I was pretty much ahead the entire game there. You can see how much work Experimental Theory did. I'll put it on my creature early, as well as my Dust Imp. Oh no, the Ember Imp, which means the card that means he can only play 2 per turn. That card's so good if you can protect it, like I did with Shadow Self. But yeah, that's it for the game. We'll take it back to the recap with the deck. So yeah, the Pampered Virtuoso Baron of Caring Hall. Pretty strong deck. 2 Arises, Control the Weak, and Gateway Desk are all a little bit clunky together to have like 2 of these, but you can see that they still did a lot of work. I would have had the game shut out the next turn at the end there. Ember Imp put in so much work. I put that with Shadow Self in the early game to protect it. Really strong. That turn 2 Library Access turn was pretty sweet. It was nice to get that with Wild Wormhole, getting that on camera. Again, Bait and Switch, of course, worked out really well for us. Didn't really get to use the Sting. We'll get that eventually. And then 2 Naughties. Just really good deck overall. This is one of the better ones I've played with. These 3, if I could choose any 3 decks, 3 houses to play with, these 3 would be at the top. But yeah, that'll do it for this video, guys. Hope you guys did enjoy. If you did, please leave a like, comment, subscribe if you want to see more videos just like this. I also have a couple different strategy guides on my channel if you guys want to check those out. But really helps me out, guys. I hope you guys have a really good day, really good week, or the weekend, whatever, whenever you guys are watching. And good luck out there battling in the Crucible.